Have you ever really thought about how a small roadside chicken stand turned into a global giant? Well, today we're going to dig into the incredible story of KFC. It's a wild ride of failure, persistence, and, of course, a recipe that literally changed the world. Let's jump in. You know that smell, right? That unmistakable smell of crispy fried chicken. Well, every time you smell that, you're not just smelling food. You're actually smelling history. It's a story that's way bigger than just a meal. It's about failure, it's about grit, and about one man who just refused to quit. And that's the history we're unpacking today. So, before all the iconic buckets, before it was this massive global brand, there was just a man, Harlan Sanders. And if you really want to get how KFC became what it is today, you have to go back to the beginning, back to his long and pretty tough journey. And let's be clear, this is not one of those stories about privilege or some overnight success. Nope. Harlan Sanders, he wasn't rich, he wasn't lucky, he didn't come from money, and he sure wasn't handed any breaks. I mean, his beginnings were about as humble as they get. Actually, for most of his life, it felt like one setback after another. He tried everything. I'm talking steamboat pilot, railroad fireman, farmer. He even tried being a lawyer, but nothing really stuck. It's like failure was just always there. But here's where the story gets really wild. At age 65, think about that, 65. That's when most folks are kicking back, planning retirement. But Harlan Sanders? He was just getting started. He decided to start all over again with basically nothing. Just his first Social Security check and, you guessed it, that secret recipe for fried chicken. And that recipe, it wasn't just about making good food. It was his secret weapon. This is really the turning point, where this one simple dish, something he'd been perfecting for years, starts on this crazy journey to pretty much take over the world. What he did was so simple, but at the time, it was revolutionary. You've heard of it, right? The secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. But that was only half of it. The other part was his cooking method. He used a pressure cooker to fried chicken. This was a total game changer. It was way faster, and it sealed in all that moisture and flavor. And the result? Oh man, it was a totally new kind of chicken. It was unlike anything people had ever tasted before. You got that perfect crispy skin on the outside, but the inside was just unbelievably juicy and tender. It was, no exaggeration, a culinary game changer. So he starts serving this chicken out of his little roadside motel in Kentucky. And get this, travelers would pull over for gas, but it was that amazing smell that got them. They'd stay for the chicken. He didn't even need to advertise. The chicken literally sold itself. That's the power of word of mouth right there. Okay, so being a local legend was great, but that was just the start. Now we get to the part where Sanders takes his recipe on the road. And this is where he starts the really hard work of building an empire, literally one handshake at a time. And his method, well, it was pure grit. He'd put on that iconic white suit, get in his car, and just drive. City to city. A lot of the time, he was sleeping in his car. He'd just walk into a random restaurant, totally unannounced, and make his pitch. And his question was so simple, so direct. Will you cook my chicken? That was it. He would offer to cook his chicken for the restaurant owner right there on the spot. If they liked it, and they always did, he'd teach them his secret. All he asked for in return was a nickel for every piece they sold. That simple handshake deal, that basically became the foundation for the entire franchise model as we know. And man, did it work. It worked better than anyone could have possibly imagined. Just look at this timeline of the expansion. It starts in 1950s America, right? By the 70s, it's all over Asia and Europe. Then the 80s hit, and it's blowing up in the Middle East and Africa. It went from a guy in a car to a true global institution. And just to put that into perspective for you, today, KFC serves millions of people every single day in over 150 countries. That scale of success is it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. And remember, it all started with one guy sleeping in his car. But here's the thing. To get that big, to really dominate the globe, the company knew it couldn't just be about one recipe forever. It had to grow. It had to evolve from being just about a man to being about a brand. And that meant being more than just fried chicken. And their strategy for this was just brilliant. Look, the original recipe, that was the core. That was untouchable. But then they started adding things like hot wings and zinger burgers to bring in new people.
Then came the family bucket, which was genius because it made KFC all about sharing. And here's the most important part. They started adding local flavors to the menu. That made KFC feel like it belonged, no matter where in the world you were.
Yeah, this really sums up the genius of it all. No matter what country you're in, KFC tastes familiar, you know? It's comforting. But it's also a little bit different. It has that local touch that makes it feel like home. That is such a masterful balancing act. And through all of that change, all that evolution, what's the one thing that's always been there? The Colonel himself. His face on that logo, it's more than just branding, you know? It's a promise. It connects you right back to that guy in his little kitchen. It's become this global symbol of trust and, of course, taste. So, when you look at this whole incredible journey, what are the big takeaways? Let's boil it all down to the Colonel's real, lasting legacy. The big lessons here about business, about branding, and honestly, just about pure belief. Okay, I think there are 4 really powerful lessons here. Number 1, age doesn't stop success. It's never, ever too late. 2, failure is not the end, it's just part of the process. 3, a truly great product, that's how you build trust. And 4, great branding is how you make that trust stick in people's minds forever. Because when you get right down to it, the real secret of KFC, it's not just the spices, it's consistency. It's knowing that no matter where you are, Kentucky, Kyoto, wherever, that bucket of chicken is going to give you that same comforting quality experience every single time. And that's why it's so much more than just fast food, isn't it? For so many of us, for generations, it's comfort in a bucket. It's birthday food. It's family food. It's all about that shared moment. I mean, what a story. From an old man with a dream to a brand that's now loved by millions and millions of people all over the world. So we'll leave you with this final thought. If the story of KFC proves anything, it's that it is absolutely never too late to start. So the real question is, what dream are you going to begin?